Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Hasbro, Marvel Legends, Agent Jimmy Woo from Wandavision. You may notice there are 4 of these guys in front of you. Well, army building is my specialty. In addition to that, police officer army building is my super specialty. I got 4 of these guys. He looks like a regular cop or detective, maybe FBI agent. He's got the police badge around his neck. I'm going to do some head swaps and have some additions for my GCPD, Gotham City Police Department, in my action figure world. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, Marvel Legends, Agent Jimmy Woo, Marvel Studios, Wandavision by Hasbro. Here he is in the front. You can see he's got that police badge, suited body. Here's the Build-A-Figure on the back. Here's Agent Woo. Here are the pieces he comes with. He also has a little key card thing. Here's his barcode, in case that helps anybody. I got my figures from Big Bad Toy Store, but they're probably going to be popping up in stock all over the place right now. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we get this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with the Build-A-Figure piece, Khonshu. He's got his left arm. He also has his staff. But as far as his own accessories go, he only has one alternate hand, and that's a key card permanently attached. Total of 3 different hands. He also has the sort of FBI or police badge around his neck, and that can't be removed. I feel like this guy really needed a pistol. Very appropriate for an FBI agent. That being said, I've been waiting for this guy for a long time. Really excited for this figure. I must confess, I've never seen WandaVision. I hear it's pretty good. Not super familiar with Agent Woo, but when I saw Marvel Legends was making this regular looking guy, I knew I had to get one. Then I found out he's an FBI agent, looks like a police officer, he's got the police badge on a chain around his neck. I knew I had to get multiples. Been waiting and waiting and waiting. Finally, I got my 4 today. So let's take a look at him. Start with his face here. It looks pretty good. You can sort of see the actor likeness pretty good. Hair part on the side, flipped up a little bit. Asian in appearance. He's got this chain with a police badge, and I love it. This guy's an FBI agent in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but he's going to be a GCPD officer in my Batman world. A 6-inch scale. Below that, he's got jacket, collar popped up, double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Regular looking guy. In here, white button-up shirt, black tie, dress slacks, dress shoes. A lot of reuse from previous Marvel figures. Definitely the legs here. They're the kind that, as I recall, are kind of hard to stand up. But I'm very happy to add some more police and army building to my action figure world. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. It's good. A little soft, but definitely gets the job done. And here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. You can take off his police badge and his left hand. Hell, you could take off his other hand and his head if you dip in hot water, but these are the only parts that are actually meant to be removed. And here are all 4 of these Agent Woo figures, broken down as far as they can go, all their accessories laid out. Now, I have nothing against Agent Woo, but I sure didn't buy this because he's Agent Woo for my Marvel collection. I bought this because he's a police officer, at least that's what he looks like, and he's going to be used to enhance my Batman action figure collection. I have 6-inch scale Batman figures, 7-inch scale, and army building is my specialty, and police army building is my super specialty. In this video, we'll take a look at this figure, we'll do some head swaps, make some GCPD officers, and I'll show off my entire police action figure collection. You gotta see it to believe it. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with the Build-A-Figure Khonshu pieces. So we have the left arm for the Build-A-Figure and his staff. The Build-A-Figure is actually an awesome piece. You can see it's got a wrap around there. Nice sculpting detail. Double jointed. Looks great. Then we have a staff. Comes in 2 separate pieces. You can pretty easily connect them together. Bam, pops into place. It is very long. And since I'm going to end up with 4 of these staffs, I thought I might be able to use them for my NECA Predator collection. Now let's look at his hands. One's an open gripping hand, and one is a similar hand, but it has this key card, and it's permanently attached, which is kind of annoying. I thought about ripping it out of there, but it's intertwined with his fingers quite a bit. I might still do it. I don't know. I just really don't like the way it is like this. I get it by itself. It's going to be hard for him to hold. You'll probably lose it. This is true. But I could definitely use a few key cards in my action figure world. Here's Agent Woo with his 2 gripping hands. Then, with his key card hand, pretty much just handed the key card off to somebody. Maybe inserting it into a little slot or something. So I went ahead and threw the hand into some hot water, and I cut the key card off. Just like I thought. It looks pretty good for the most part, but you can see some remnants of his fingers there. Both the front and the back. Could still be pretty useful as a key card in the action figure world. Just have your figure holding in that corner there. The rest of it looks pretty nice. Now let's look at his police badge. I realize Agent Woo is part of the FBI. I didn't even know they had badges like this. This just makes me think of a police officer. I must say, I like it a lot. You can see the chain at the top. Then, a nice little badge that goes around his chest. Just showing you he's a police officer without him having to show you an ID. Very, very nice. I love that it comes off. You can give it to other figures, etc. Here's Agent Woo. Just a regular clothing. No police badge. Add on his police badge. Only when he wants you to know he's a cop or an agent. Here are 4 other Marvel Legends figures, all sporting these police badges. Each one of these guys looks like they could potentially be a cop. So I did get 4 of these Agent Woo figures, and the whole point was to make them GCPD officers, cops, detectives, hell, they could even be FBI agents. Whole point, to have some more law enforcement for Gotham City, whether they're working with or opposing Batman. Now, I have 4 of them, but I damn sure don't want them to look the same. So, let's go to my fodder pile and find some heads that are appropriate for these guys. They have to be small enough for Marvel Legends, and look regular enough for generic cops, police officers. Here's some heads that I decided on. Thought they looked like some good regular people. Guy on the left, gray hair, a little bit older. The other guys, just some normal looking guys. Could be some cops in plain clothes. So let's heat up some water, dip them in, swap them out. So here are these head swaps. I actually think they all came out looking pretty good. The heads, they're not too small, not too big. They all look like regular guys. Could be some cops. Add on their police badges, and bam, 4 detectives. 2 thumbs up. Now an accessory he has to have is a gun. In order to be a detective or an FBI agent, you have to have a pistol, you have to have a firearm to defend yourself. Here are 2 pistols in front of you. The one at the bottom right is a Hasbro Marvel Legends pistol, pretty small. I always felt like it was a little bit undersized for the figures. And the one on the top left, it's from the McFarlane Weapons Accessory Pack. It's the smaller of the 2 pistols there. I feel like the Hasbro one is just a little bit too small for the figures. And the McFarlane one there, even though it's a smaller version, is just a tad too large. Here's Agent Woo holding the Hasbro Marvel Legends style pistol. It fits in his hand perfect. Really doesn't look bad. Doesn't seem as small as I remembered it being. And here he is with the smaller pistol from the McFarlane Accessory Pack. It also fits in his hand perfect. Trigger finger, handle. It's maybe just a tiny bit too large, but doesn't look bad. And here's a third option. This is another Marvel Legends pistol. This one came with a villain in the hood. He came with 2 of those. So it's a tiny bit bigger. It looks to be about the perfect size for Agent Woo here. So I'm not able to give all these guys guns. Detectives, police officers, FBI agents, whatever you want to call them. They now have their firearms to defend themselves. You can take his pistol and sort of shove it into his jacket. I love finding ways to holster pistols and weapons like that. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure, his accessories, and some head swaps, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, He's standing at about 6.1 inches tall, which can translate to about 15.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up about that far, down about that far. Pretty nice. Can tilt his head, but not very much. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out less than 90 degrees. Up, down, around. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows, they go all the way in. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. His torso here, he's got an ab crunch, forward and back. Traditional waist swivel below that. Legs, obstructed by the jacket a little bit, but honestly, it's not the jacket. It's about as far as I would say go. Ball joints. Forward, all the way. Back, not much. Thigh cut. Double jointed knees. Then his ankles here. Forward and back. Tilt, rock. No traditional rotation. Here's Agent Wu on the top shelf in my police headquarters. A closer look at him in front of his desk. Here's Agent Wu eating a donut. Stereotypical for a police officer. And here's the Extreme Sets police station. Ton of 6-inch scale cops on there. A closer look at Agent Wu and the 3 other custom police officers. They're arresting this guy, eating donut, reading files. Really cool setup. Exactly what I'd hoped it would do, and it did not disappoint. Thank you, Hasbro, for making this figure. It's right up my alley. Now let's check them out, next to some other action figures. Starting off with some recent release Marvel Legends. Here are all 4 of these Agent Wu figures, making different various detectives and police officers. GCPD. Here's Agent Wu, next to several other recently released Marvel Legends figures. As you can see, I like the figures that are regular attire. Then, with some more regular looking Marvel Legends figures. And here, with some larger Marvel Legends figures. Then, with some female Marvel Legends figures. Here's Agent Wu, next to a jar of fish food. Now let's check him out, next to some other police action figures. And I think I may have the largest 6 and 7-inch scale police action figure collection. Let me know if you've ever seen anything like it below. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the smaller, shittier police action figures, and work my way to the larger stuff I collect. Here's this Hasbro Agent Wu, next to a Doctor Who Amy Pond in her police outfit. She's more of a 5-inch scale figure. And here he is, next to this pre-post SWAT figure. This guy came with a little diorama where he was kicking down a door. Then, next to the old school McFarlane, Spawn, Sam and Twitch. These are a couple of police officers or detectives in the Spawn world. And now, next to an older McFarlane, Mulder and Scully. These are kind of between 5 and 6-inch scale. And on the right, we have Agent Smith from The Matrix. All 3 of these guys are technically FBI agents, just like Agent Wu himself, but they can be used easily as detectives, etc. Here's Agent Wu, next to what I believe are a couple of older Toy Biz X-Men movie police officers. These guys came with Sabretooth. They had sort of an action feature. If he would sort of scratch one on the chest, they'd completely fall apart. He would sort of annihilate them. And here he is, next to 6 different Mattel Movie Master Dark Knight Honor Guard Joker figures. This is for Heath Ledger when he's disguised as a cop in The Dark Knight. I got 6 of these figures. Kept a couple as is, did a couple head swaps, even made Foley for The Dark Knight Rises. These are pretty much the exact same scale as Marvel Legends and this Agent Wu. Then, next to Mattel, Dark Knight Rises Moodmaster John Blake. I have 8 of these guys. Did a bunch of head swaps. Have a nice police force here. This is probably my favorite 6-inch scale police action figure out there. Great for army building. Scales perfect with Marvel Legends. I love the police jacket. Just a normal beat cop. Mattel made a Commissioner Gordon figure for both Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises. They're in the Movie Master line. I got a couple to use as Gordon and a couple extras, did some head swaps, and have some generic random detectives. Here's Wu, next to some Plan B toys, SWAT officers. Part of their emergency forces line. I got 2 blue and 2 black versions. Took me absolutely forever to track these down, and that was more than 10 years ago. Then, with some more Plan B toys. On the left, we have some canine officers with their dogs. Then to the right of Agent Wu, I have a custom cop. Then, I believe a couple of military Plan B toys. Thought they would work good. Threw them in my cops. Always planned to repaint that green beret on the far right, but never got around to it. And now, with a couple of Plan B toys, bomb squad officers. These are the experts they send in for the police force to try to defuse a bomb. Geared up in these ridiculous suits, but it's actually a thing. Here's Agent Wu, next to a few Mafex Honor Guard Joker figures from the Dark Knight. Did a couple head swaps. More cops. Here's Wu, next to all of my DC Direct Commissioner Gordon figures. Got a total of 6 of them. Then, next to a DC Direct Batman the Animated Series, Gordon, Bullock, and Montoya. And now, next to a bunch of DC Direct Dark Victory Commissioner Gordon figures. There are a total of 8 of them. Did a lot of head swaps, some customizing. Made an army of GCPD SWAT officers way back in the old days when there weren't a lot of options. Like I said, GCPD. And here's Wu, next to a Mezco 112 Collective Commissioner Gordon. And here he is, next to a bunch of different John Constantine figures. They're by Mattel, DC Direct, and McFarlane. I always thought John Constantine makes a great detective or private investigator. He's dressed just the right way. I even got an extra McFarlane Constantine, did a head swap, and I made Jason Bard. He's a private investigator in Gotham City. Then, with McFarlane, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Sheriff. It's a pre-post figure, but a cop nonetheless. And now, next to a few Resident Evil figures, we've got Leon Kennedy for the Raccoon Police Department, wearing a police outfit. And then we have a couple of Jill Valentine figures. Well, not exactly cops. They have that sort of beret on. Reminds me of sort of a military or police type figure. And speaking of Resident Evil, here he is, next to a couple of Palisades, Resident Evil zombie cops. They were great as some tortured or deceased corpses of cops. Here's Agent Wu, next to McFarlane, police officer from We Happy Few. Kinda works as a Jokerized cop. And here he is, next to a Diamond Select Toys, Mulder and Scully from X-Files. Well, not exactly cops, they are FBI agents. I always thought this Mulder here, the sunglasses, the not very clean shaven, kind of looks like a sleaze bag. I always use him as a crooked cop in Max Figure World. Then, with a neck of Sam, some Splinter Cell. Not exactly a cop, but he's in plain clothes, has a bulletproof vest on, worked for a police officer to me. And now, with a bunch of Mattel, wrestling, WWE Elite Big Boss Man figures. Still need to do a couple more head swaps. Here's Wu, next to 3 more Elite Big Boss Man figures. These guys are sort of in SWAT attire. And while we're looking at Big Boss Man, here are a few Jack-specific wrestling figures. Big Boss Man on the left, SWAT attire on the right, a couple of cops, head swaps. And here he is, with several different Mattel, wrestling, creative superstar Roman Reigns figures. He's in a SWAT attire, riot gear, gas mask, helmet, riot shield. Came with a taser, all kind of cool, copish type accessories. Then, next to a bunch of custom SWAT officers. These are based off their looks from the video game Batman Arkham Origins. They're mostly made from wrestling figures, but there are some other figure parts involved as well. And now, with several different Battlestar Galactica figures, did some head swaps. I got these guys a long time ago. Not exactly police officers, but they're in some blue type dress-up outfits. Way back when there weren't a lot of options, these guys were my cops. Here's Wu, next to a bunch of McFarlane DC Multiverse GTO officers from White Knight. This is originally a Joker figure. I bought a ton of these, did some head swaps, and have my own GTO, Gotham Terrorist Oppression Unit. They're sort of the elite cops for special situations. And here he is, next to several NECA T-1000 figures from Terminator 2. Some of the Galleria Mall kind, some of the Steel Mill kind. Did a couple head swaps with some Arnold figures, just for some variety. These are the old ones, barely articulated and super brittle. I think every single one of these figures broke in at least one or two places. A lot of glue holding them together. Then, with a couple of Ultimate NECA T-1000 figures. Same figure, re-released, with way better articulation and quality control. And here, with some NECA Ultimate T-1000 figures from Terminator Genesis. Same figure, repainted, different head swaps, more cops. Then, with a bunch of NECA T-1000 motorcycle cops. On the left, we have the original release, and on the right, a few of the Ultimate releases. And now, next to a couple more NECA T-1000 figures. On the left, we have the motorcycle cop, frozen in liquid nitrogen, and on the right, the old Kenner homage color-changing version. These both could work for some good, I don't know, Mr. Freeze. He froze this cop, police officer. Here's Agent Wu, next to a Mezco Reservoir Dogs, tortured police officer. From the iconic scene in the film. Works good for so many action figure scenarios. And here he is, with some NECA Halloween Dr. Loomis figures. On the left, a much older NECA figure, and on the right, the more recently released version in both of his looks. These guys are not exactly cops, but they were good as a detective or police officer, in my opinion. Then, with the McFarlane Spawn Sam and Twitch, these are some new updated releases of these characters. They actually are cops, and Sam there works perfect for Harvey Bullock from Batman. And now, here he is with several different McFarlane Stranger Things Hopper figures. One was kept as is, did a couple head swaps, and then one is totally repainted. More cops. Here's Agent Wu with the Diamond Select Westworld Bernard. Now Bernard's not a cop, but the same actor played Commissioner Gordon in The Batman, and since no company made a Gordon figure, he works good as a Gordon substitute. And here he is, with the Diamond Select Toys, Gordon and Bullock from Gotham, more cops and detectives, and finally, next to Detective Hartigan from Sin City, played by Bruce Willis, has a nice police badge on his trench coat, about the tallest cop that I have. And just to end off the video, here he is, with a few different police 1/12 scale motorcycles. These are some sort of model or whatnot. I got these on eBay for pretty cheap. They do have articulation, front wheel rotates, both wheels spin. They fit the NECA Ultimate T-1000 motorcycle cops pretty nicely. And finally, here he is in front of a custom GCPD SWAT vans. These are customized from a Mattel Wrestling Slambulance. Basically, it's a wrestling ambulance, repainted, perfect for GCPD SWAT. Actually accommodates 7-inch scale figures in both the front and the back. So overall, these are some very nice figures. I was really excited when I saw Hasbro was going to be releasing sort of a police or detective type figure. Even though he's an FBI agent, it all really looks the same, especially with that police badge on his neck. As you can see, army building is my specialty, and police army building is my super specialty. So, when I saw this guy, I knew I had to get multiples, and it did not disappoint. Sure, I prefer the 7-inch scale, but I have a pretty big collection of the 6-inch scale too. These guys will complement the Mattel Movie Masters very nicely. I'm enjoying this guy probably more than most people will be. He's just like every other Marvel Legends figure, shares a ton of the same parts, same articulation, a little smaller than I'd like. But police action figures, thank you Hasbro. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. He may not really be worth that high, but for my particular preferences and needs, he is perfect. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.